Urerorera Kameme TV.
Kigeri kia mahinda cihandite wega thaa 7 cia mĩarahũko tugacokia ngatho niwe gukorwo nyitanĩire na ithuĩ mĩarahũko ĩno ya ũmũthĩ nĩtuoka nĩguo tukumenyithia ũrĩa bũrũri ũragĩthiĩ na mbere na gũkĩgariũra mũthenya wa ũmũthĩ arĩ kana ga kiumia tarĩki nĩ 25 mweri ni wa Mũgaa wa kerĩ tugakĩhoka ni warahũkire oro wega na mũthenya waku nĩ mũhoreru ngĩkũnyita ũgeni thĩinĩ wa mohoro gĩtaũ njĩtagwo Gathoni wa Ng'ang'a turateithania na Wangui wa Mwangi mutwathĩrĩri na njĩra ya ciko tukiambĩrĩria mohoro maitũ. Kamĩtĩ ya ithurano na mĩhaka bũrũri-inĩ IEBC nĩ ikinyĩtie mbere ya kamĩtĩ ya bunge ĩgiĩ ũkinyanĩria wa gatiba ĩgĩtarĩria harĩa ĩkinyĩtie harĩ meharĩria ma ithurano cia mwaka wa 2027 ũndũ ũmwe na ithurano nini iria itanyĩte kũhanĩka mweri ũkĩte. Gĩikaro-inĩ gĩkĩ kamĩtĩ ĩno nĩ ĩcakaĩte ũkunderu wa kĩgĩna rĩu ĩkĩenda gũthukĩrwo kĩgĩna makĩria kĩrĩa gĩkũhũthĩka na maũndũ matiganĩte arĩ hamwe na wandĩkithia wa aikia a kura na gũthomithia mũingĩ.
Gives the commission the power to delimit the number, names and boundaries of wards. That is a constitutional prescription. But if you look at the County Governments Act, Section 26(1), it caps the number of wards to 1,450. So that provision is unconstitutional. Secondly, Article 89(3) mandates the Commission to review the number, names and boundaries of wards periodically. But if you look at the County Governments Act, Section 26, subsection 3, it provides a timeline of not less than 8 years and not more than 12 years. It is also unconstitutional. And we have made submissions, Chair, that Parliament deletes these provisions of Section 26 because a statute is below, it's infra-constitutional. Yeah. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, let's have Honorable Kitur. Let's be a little brief so that even both in questions and answers, so that we finish your time. I understand you have a meeting at 2. Yes.
Well, thank you, Chair. And that does not mean that we have given all the others the opportunity to ask questions. When it comes to us, we've given that gagging. I want to first of all congratulate you, Erastus Ethicon, and the commissioners who've come in. I know we are over 2,000. We are over 2,000 applicants, and you are here. Congratulations, and work well done as well for the officers. You've really explained yourself well. It keeps on to build the confidence that Kenyans have in this great institution that makes critical decisions. My questions are just going to be very few. Number one is on the issue of diaspora voters. I want to really have a feeling that you have not done so much so, because when you're talking of 10,000 Kenyans who are in diaspora who are able to vote, and you're celebrating that, I feel, and knowing well we have, as informed, over 400,000 Kenyans going out to work there, and I do not know the final statistics of all Kenyans out there, I feel you are not doing too well. What plans are you doing more to have these Kenyans, of course, brought on board to vote. If a few minutes ago I heard all of us were laughing when you actually made a comment that it's of your interest that Kenyans who have expired passports, you agree with the courts on the same. And I think that is extremely ridiculous. Because when you're a Kenyan and have your passport, really, how do you expire? And why can't ID be also brought on board? Why can't you have part of this as proposals to us, so that if it's a law that needs to be changed, as part of those, I saw like 6 or 7 laws that you're sending to Parliament for considerations, why can't that not be factored in? Because these Kenyans must participate. They keep sending money to this country because they are there working and those kinds of things. So they must also be given a chance to be able to vote at their time. So I want you to also make a comment on the same. Secondly is, I want to also understand, because you said inmates are also, are they diaspora voters? The inmates, we want to know, why is it that they are only allowed to vote for the presidential? What can be done for these inmates to also vote for the other cadres of electoral seats? Because they are also Kenyans. The unfortunate thing is just they are behind bars. And this is actually a concern that this committee got from the inmates across the country of the many prisons that we visited. And they really wanted to participate as Kenyans as well. What can be done by you, Chairman, and your team to be able to assist these Kenyans? Thirdly is, you have mentioned that you intend to raise the 22.1 million voters to 28.4, bringing in 6.3. I want to believe most of these are young people. I do not know what plans you indeed want to do. Are you engaging other institutions like eCitizen to be able to get contacts of the young people? Because we want to bring in the youthful to be part of those that are going to be voting. I would be very keen maybe in the near future. Of course, I appreciate that you bring in Uduma centers and such other institutions to support you in shoving in these young people. But I want to know if you are engaging, what other institutions of government are you engaging, whether, to text these people through getting their details in eCitizen and the rest. I may want to know. I want to also know the political parties. The political parties have access to data provided by yourselves, and if so, to what extent? Finally, with digital platforms, you've mentioned the campaign periods. Times are changing. We are moving from, politics, having people, in a rally. We are now moving digital, where people can have pseudo accounts. How do you say the campaign starts at this time and ends at this time, yet people can still use these gadgets to be able to sell their agenda and their ideas way past that? How do you intend to mitigate that? Finally, in the budget that you gave to us, there is the aspect of updating the KIMS kit, and I still want to know what the budget that was. It's about 2.5 billion that you said has not been captured. My question is, if that is not funded, is it going to affect the credibility of our elections? And if so, we are also interested to know, when did you do the audit to be able to have seen what these KIMS kits, the success rates of these key aims kits, and we expected also the cost to have reduced significantly, because when you bring in technology, then expect also reduction in terms of the cost of doing your elections. I've also noted that in the 61.8 billion that you said was your proposal, that's about 2,200 shillings per voter, so to say, in court. I wanted to know globally, of course you said you are approved for 57.8 billion. Globally, where are we positioned in the cost of running an election? Where are we? Have you done these comparative studies? I thank you. No, finally, Chair, sorry. We want to know the 6 bills, what you are doing about it, also engaging Parliament, because this is also something that is very key. I know one of my colleagues had said, what you're doing about that, so we can be able to prioritize and give you also the opportunity to run an elections quite well and within the law. Thank you.
Macikaro cia mbunge kuria kamiti ya ithurano na mihaka IEBC ikinyitie mbere ya kamiti ya mbunge igi ukinyaniria wa gatiba gucokia ciuria cigimainie na haria kamiti no ya IEBC igikinyitie mihango-ini ya mehariria ma githurano kia mwaka wa 2027. Ni riboti iria tukuhaririirie na njira ndikiru na ndaya thiini wa mohoro-ini maitu maria mekurumirira thaa 1 na thaa 3 cia hwaini. Tugithi na mbere, Mutongoria wa bururi William Ruto ni ugite mabũrũri ma Africa ni moete makinya marumu kuhurana na ucenjia wa riera na njira ya kuhuthira hinya wa kimerera. Akiaria kiungano-ini kia kimabũrũri mucini wa New York, President William Ruto augite makinya macio mahotithitie mabũrũri ma Africa kugia na kuongerereka kwa utonga. Ruto ni athiete na mbere na kuria mabũrũri ma nanja kunyitana niguo kugacirithia bara ya ugaruruku wa riera niguo mahote kuhotana bara eno.
Ladies and gentlemen, economic growth, ladies and gentlemen, and climate action are inseparable. Ignore the climate, the development will unravel. Confront the crisis, and new pathways for green, inclusive growth open. That is why new, predictable, and innovative financing must be unlocked. At COP28 in Dubai, building on Nairobi Declaration, we launched the Global Solidarities Levies Task Force. A first breakthrough came this June when 8 countries, including Kenya, formed a coalition to introduce solidarity levies on premium class flyers. These initiatives must inform the Baku to Belém roadmap to mobilize the 1.3 trillion that developing countries urgently need. Africa is already stepping up. At this year's Africa Climate Summit, 8 leading African financial institutions signed a cooperation framework to unlock US $100 billion in investment capital. At the same time, when the world risks fragmentation and a retreat into transactional politics, Africa is leaning forward to shape its own destiny. We now invite the global community to join us, to stand with us in this noble undertaking. This is the moment to be bolder, to show genuine climate solidarity, and to silence the naysayers.
Kuri na njukaniriro ya uteti kaunti-ini ya Embu gatagati-ini ka MCAs a kaunti yo na minista wa uruti wa wira wa thirikari Geoffrey Ruko makiuga ni akoretwo agitheremia miario ya irumi. Makiaria na andiki ya mohoro, MCAs aya maugite cigana ni cigana na matigwetikira Ruko akorwo akimaruma ringi. Makiuga miario iyo ni ya kuonania ndaigiririkite utongoria-ini. Matongoretio ni mutongoria wa ringi Muriithi Kabore. MCAs aya ni mongereire kuga matigwetikira mutongoria o wothe kumagira gitio.
Ni kumana na miario ya minista wa uruti wira wa mwingi Geoffrey Ruko iria aritie session rimwe ya radio irakaritie mbunge ya Embu ni kiria maugite irarongorerie kumanyoruria na kumaruma maita atongoria. Makiaria ma mbunge ya Embu matongoretwo ni MCA waria engi Muriithi Kabore maugite Ruko kumaruma na kumeta ngongoti iconi kiria kigwatanagithwo na urimu na kwaga kioneki ni kumanyarara maita atongoria mathuritwo ni mwingi.
Kugukegwa Muembu kana mumbere agwitite ngongoti ni kirimu kiria gikuruthere kiria gicokanu muno na riu thue member aria areta etu county assembly onto no abingo marathire gwitia kura umwene wa maita mathatu kuthurwa Mheshimiwa Kariuki, ucio wingi ari chairman wa county council, twi nake nanie ni mayor, anjumbe acia iri gutike nayo mota ina ndingiri, riu ndise ngenji ya Ruko ya kumeta ngongo tindisara mengenji atia na ngenji ya Ruko kumeta ngongo ni guturuma ni undu riu thwe ni thwe turekaraga na andu acio guku koguo riu thwe ana twauga umuthi thwe tugetagwa ingi ngongoti riu na mwanya tukuthie mbere tukauga twaka guku ta ngongoti tuone ngongoti cietu iria iku nigetha tu support ngongoti cietu ku
akiagithia kene miario ya Ruku kuburi ni worotete ni undu wa kumakania mutongoria wa kivururi ta Ruku kuruma atongoria aria engi ni undu woteti gukwa kimuria kuthoma na kwiruta na President William Ruto uria augite ndari aruma MCA wa bonthe vururire
riu Nguruko no ekire ogwa kwa ni akwenda thayo ni acokerie ngiuri weyo auge tutie ngongoti tutie kumbavu na kithori ni mundu useless to niguo augire mundu taina vata giko kia mundu atwire thwe tutie giko acoke atwite musemanio akwa ni akwenda wega wetu nake twikare nthi atwire apologize kwethwe niwe tuthie thabari mo akorwo ndagwika ogwo twikuria riu ngongoti for ngongoti
ni tondu mierio ya Ruku yumanite na uteti wa mbere North kuona kwina ma MCA mairi maramereria matagetro kia umbunge wa mwena ucio munini wa speaker na MCA wa Kirimari Swale Ibrahim augite kinyorori kia Ruku kiravutia abunge onthe a Embu na riu kihitano kia mbere North gigakora gikatagati kao na Ruku na muvuraniri uria aranyita mbaru wa kiama kia thirikari.
Bunge la Embu lazima liheshimike na mimi kama naibu ya speaker tumesema bunge la Embu litaheshimika na litaheshimika tu kama wale viongozi ambao wamepewa nyadhifa za kiserikali wataheshimu viongozi ambao wamechaguliwa na watu. Ukweli ni kwamba ukisema wabunge wa Embu County ni wajinga, umetukana bunge la Embu County. Tumesema tutatetea bunge la Embu County, mimi nikiwa kiongozi wao. Tumesema tutaprotect image ya bunge la Embu County because katika rekodi za nchi, bunge ambalo katika muhula huu ambalo limeweza kuperform among the best top 10 in the country ni bunge la Embu.
Agikanyagiriria no mwaka Ruku avwe muvera kwima MCA thini wa radio wanakana TV ya kivururi MCA wa Wandia Makima Philip Zangi akorota miaria Ruku iraturira nginya aikia kura itio na miaria yake ni kumithia thirikari kura cia mbere North.
Aombe msamaha kwa MCs wote wa Kenya kwa sababu unapotukana mmoja umetukana MCs wote wa Kenya. Na ameenda akatukana bunge la Embu lote, anasema hakuna kiongozi anaweza kutoka katika county assembly yoyote aweze kuwa MP ama aweze kuwa kiongozi mwingine wa aina nyingine. Hayo ni matusi makubwa zaidi. Na ningependa kusema ya kwamba asipofanya hivyo basi inamaanisha ya kwamba hatupo na yeye. Na tunasema kutoka hapa siku ya leo tuna demand kwa njia zote zile msamaha kutoka kwa CS Ruku. Wakati anapotuita wajinga, ameita wale watu wote ambao wamechagua MCS wajinga kwa sababu mjinga tu anaweza kuchaguliwa na mjinga.
Kihitaithano kia mbere North nwakithite na mbere na kwambatia urugari wa giuteti kwevunaniria agiturwa kia umbunge makiria kwi muvuranini wa kiama kia UDA kumana na miario ya Ruku ira iramwiga vandu vaseke giuteti etigarite mirire mbere ya kivurano. Vandore va Kameme TV ni kaunti ya Embu ni Beta Dennis Fundi.
Gatho Dennis Fundi ni ripoti yo kuma Embu. Tugithina mbere thirikari ni ruteire mukana ene kandarathi aria mekugonderera wira-ini wao ikiuga ni megutunyo kandarathi iria maheto. One kuringana na mutafariri wa mihango ya thirikari gitaro-ini gia gatagati ka bururi Joshua Kanatha agithurima waki wa barabara kaunti-ini ya Kirinyaga. Kanatha augite ene kandarathi ni macokereirie wira-ini thutha wa kurihwo mbeca ciao ciothe ni thirikari kuria kilomita 40 da ireketie gwikirwo rami.
Icera-inĩ rĩake kaunti-inĩ ya Kirinyaga, mutafariri wa mihango ya thirikari gĩtaro-inĩ gĩa gatagati ga bũrũri Joshua Kanatha ekinyĩtie gũthũrima waki wa mabarabara kaunti-inĩ ya Kirinyaga. Kanatha augite ne kandarathi ni macokereirie wira-ini thutha wa kurihwo mbeca ciao ciothe ni thirikari kuria kaunti-ini ya Kirinyaga makoretwo magithondeka barabara cia kilomita 64 na 49 ni irekereire.
Alikuwa ameondoka kwa sababu ya malipo hapa na pale, lakini tunashukuru serikali kwa sababu serikali imeweza kumlipa pesa yake ile ilikuwa imebaki kwa ile kazi amefanya yote kabisa. Vile tunaongea hapa, serikali contractor andai serikali pesa yote kwa zile nini amerisi na kupelekea serikali ndiye alipo pesa. Hiyo lazima tuelewane. Kama serikali hatuna ndeni na yeye. Sasa yeye ndio unaona naye amemmobilize 100% arundi kwa site, na ametuhakikishia kufikia Disemba kama mambo yote iko sawa, atakuwa amemalizana hata kuweka rami hii barabara. So we are very happy with him. So ni baadhi ya wale contractors wamerundi baada ya kupewa malipo yao, na hapa tutarundi mwezi ujao kuhakikisha kwamba yale ametuahidi ametekeleza.
Nkanatha ugite barabara ici nĩ igũkorwo na ũguni mũnene kũrĩ mũingĩ wa gĩcigo gĩkĩ na arĩa nĩ arĩmi a macani, kahũa hamwe na iria.
Hawa watu wa upande huu ni wakulima, na hawa ni baadhi ya wale wa Kenya ambao bidhaa zao zilikuwa zinaharibikia barabarani kabla hasijafika sokoni. So upande mmoja wa wakulima, especially wale wako na biashara zao huku za ukulima, watakuwa na uwezo wa kufikisha bidhaa zao sokoni katika wakati unaofaa. Ya pili, wafanyabiashara ni wengi, kwa sababu sio bidhaa tu za ukulima, kuna mambo mingi ambayo inafanya nini, nafungua hata bei ya mashamba inaanza kupanda juu kwa sababu ya yale manufaa ya hii barabara.
Ihinda rĩu akĩrutĩra mũkana ene kandarathi arĩa mekũgonderera wĩra-inĩ wao nĩ megũtunyũkithio kandarathi ciao.
Rais aliweza kutangaza kwamba ameachilia 60 billion ya kulipa zile pending bills za wanakandarasi wale wanajenga barabara zetu, na walilipwa. So hakuna mmoja ako na sababu ya kusema kwamba hawezi akarudi kwa kazi. So sisi yetu tumeamua tuanze katika eneo hili letu ya kati kusungua kuona ni nani huyu ambaye hajaanza kurudi kwa kazi na alikuwa amelipwa pesa zake. Kama tuko na wao, tutaweza kurecommend ile taratibu zinapaswa kuchukuliwa, including kuwasimamisha kazi na kublacklist company zao kuwa asiwezi kufanya kazi hapa nchini tena.
Na kumana na kuongereka kwa mitino ya barabara iracũngĩrĩrio nĩ ngari cia mĩraa, Nkanatha augĩte nĩ mambĩrĩirie birigiceni na gũikia mwao ngono nĩguo kũgiria mitino ĩno. Handũ-inĩ ha Kameme TV kaunti-inĩ ya Kirinyaga, njĩtagwo Wainaina wa Kĩarie.
Kiuma kaunti-inĩ ya Kirinyaga tũgũke gũkũ kaunti-inĩ ya Nairobi kũrĩa atongoria a kanitha wa ACK matongoretio nĩ Archbishop Jackson Ole Sapit nĩ mareganĩte na mendekithia na itanya o rĩothe rĩa atongoria rĩa kuongerera itĩna rĩa wathani kuma mĩaka 5 nginyagia mĩaka 7 makiuga no nginyanagia gatiba ya bũrũri ĩrũmĩrĩrwo. Atongoria acio nĩ morĩtie honge ciothe ithatũ cia thirikari kũrutithania wĩra hamwe hatarĩ rũhonge rũraingĩrĩra wĩra wa rũrĩa rũngĩ. Oho nĩ morĩtie atongoria gwĩthema na kambeini ihinda-inĩ rĩrĩ na ithenya-inĩ rĩu marutĩre mũingĩ wĩra. Tũthikĩrĩrie marĩa mekũhanĩkaga hau kabere.
The economy. The state of the economy does not give hope and confidence to the citizens. The level of unemployment among our young people is worrying and creating a sense of despair and may have direct bearing in rising cases of crime, and we demand that the country's leadership consider a workable plan to stimulate and spur the economy, and especially aside from the so-called empowerment programs that seem discriminatory and does not spur confidence in the way public funds are used for handouts. Constitutionalism. It is worrying to hear calls from some politicians proposing extension of the tenure of elective position from 5 to 7 years. Since independence, citizens have had the opportunity to elect her leaders every 5 years. The US, which is a bigger economy in the world, has a 4-year presidential term. It is unacceptable for some politicians to want to extend their stay in office, and the provision of our Constitution must be upheld. We demand the 5-year election cycle is protected and maintained. The Constitution must also be respected in the way the three arms of government work together and check each other. Also, let no arm of government be seen to interfere with the independent working of commissions. We challenge those commissions to work as it should and check on the excesses of any of the other arms of government. human life and dignity. Whereas we appreciate the declaration to compensate families that lost their loved ones in the recent demonstration, justice must be seen to have been done. We note that the High Court has issued conservatory orders against the recently launched task force. However, we do note that there are already constitutional offices that have the mandate to carry out the obligations. For instance, the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights. We see no reason why these commissions should not be mandated to the task at hand, and including preferring any judicial interventions for the victims so that justice may be served and not delayed any further. Commend the state for improving in addressing new waves of insecurity in different parts of the country. We, however, urge the law enforcement agencies to embrace civil approaches when dealing with unarmed demonstrators or even criminals. We demand also an end to extrajudicial killing or suspect dying in police custody. Every life is sacred, and no state organ has a right to silence people's voices calling, and especially those who demonstrate peacefully, demanding for change. The recent cases of femicide and homicide require concerted efforts from every level. Every life is sacred and must be preserved and respected. The recent cases of femicide give the nation a tainted picture of a brutal society that has no regard for human life and dignity. As a church, we are committed to moral education as a tool for social transformation. We urge the government to use its machinery to address such cases. E-procurement system. We appreciate the digital programs and systems that have been introduced by the government in order to improve efficiency and effectiveness. Whereas this is a welcome move to cure past corrupt procurement processes, however, it is essential that the resistance and concern by governors be addressed in the interest and promoting a buy-in. It is important that such matters be addressed exhaustively, including the seeking.
Ni Archbishop wa kanitha wa ACK Jackson Ole Sapito huko kaunti ya Nairobi akiregana na ariendekithia ria kuongerera itina ria wathani kuma miaka 5 nginyagia miaka 7. Riboti hiyo niyo tugukorwo tugiikiria nayo ikereka riri ria mbere ria mohoro gitau ndugabashie mitambo nitugucokereria.
TV.
This November, K24 TV brings you the mother of all reggae shows. It is the Good Vibes Festival with Luciano live in concert. Samir say, man was made to serve Jah. Let's go, Luci! Drop it. And together we live for. This concert will be held at the ASK The Dome Jamhuri Park Showground on the 22nd of November. Book your tickets sasa hivi kupitia Little Events Ticketing. Advance tickets ni 2K for regular, VIP 4K, VVIP ni 6K. Kwa get itakuwa ni 25 for regular, 5K for VIP na 8K for VVIP. You can't afford to miss this, me brother, me sister. It was a lonely night.
Hihi wina kioria kana woni wegie umemerekia wa Kameme TV. Twandikire woni waku kuhitukira Facebook @Kameme TV Kenya, X @Kameme TV Kenya. Na twandikire email kuhitukira info@mediamax.co.ke. Kameme TV, muthigi wa ruriri. Ithuĩ tutigweterera mahiga mamũinĩre. Ni amu tukumugosha ore twina hinya na mihumu. gĩkĩ nĩkĩo kĩgoco ukaire una drama ona ciĩgamba nĩamu nĩtũmũreheire kĩgoco gũkũ gwa Kameme TV. Nĩtũnyitanĩre o mũthenya wa gatano kwanjia thaa 4 cia ũtukũ na mũthenya wa kiumia kwanjia thaa 9 cia hwaĩ-inĩ. Kĩgoco live bar nĩtũmũgoce ta Daudi nginya ciohoke. Kameme TV, mũthĩgi wa rũrĩrĩ.
Tugakunyita ugeni ringi tugacokereria thiini wa mohoro-ini maitu. Aikari a Githobokoni gicigo-ini kia ubunge gia Gatundu ya Rugongo mahota kugunika thutha wa thirikari kwanirira waki wa barabara cia Mau mwena ucio. Itena-ini ria mbere kilomita 14 nicio igukorwo igiakwo waki uri utanyitwo gukinyia muthia mitangiko ya ihinda iraya makiria kuri arimi. Mwandiki witu kuma mwena wa Kiambu Mathew Ndung'u na riboti ino.
Kifao, Kajabi, Gachege na Kahata nimo matanyitwo kugunika itena-ini ria mbere wakini wa faracia Mau mwena wa Gatundu ya Rugongo waki uria utanyite ukinyia muthia mitangiko ya ihinda iraya ya arimi aria makoretwo magithie hathara thutha wa kuremwo kumiria magetha mao.
Guku Gatundu no thina uria twinaguo muno ni wa barabara tondu kuma bara iria nene kuingira na guku turi arimi a macani na turimaga macani na ng'ombe no tha ici ona iria kumeria macani kumeria ni undu muritu muno tondu oko ni kumeria ngari cioka ikamurihia ninge kumeria goro uguo uhoro wa kurima tukaremwo ni kurima wega no tungigia na bara no tuhote kurima.
Kuringana na mumbunge wa Gatundu ya Rugongo Njoroge Kururia, kilomita 14 nicio igwakwo itena-ini ria mbere igitanywo kuhingura matura maya kiwonjoria na kwambatiria thogora wa migunda.
Andu ni makena muno makiria na twaiguithania ati mawira megukorwo makirutwo nyandu wa guku na twaiguithania ati contractor to nerarikirie gwaka mwana wa Rari ararikia mwena wa Gatundu South riu aroka guku Gatundu North ni site arathondeka tha ici nigetha twambiririe wira ucio na wira ucio ni guthie na ruwa muno makiria na andu itu ni megukorwo makena muno.
Ino ni imwe ya tabarĩra iria thirikari ya Kenya Kwanza irakinyaniria kaunti-ini ya Kiambu. Abunge a Kiambu makiuga thirikari ni ihariirie gutigirira ndina rugama niguo kuhuthiria muingi muturire na kumahotithia gutabania wonjoria.
Tutangĩuka kwĩra andũ aitũ macinani wĩra ũrĩa thirikari ĩkinyĩte gũtigũkorwo na andũ a kũmera kũrĩa tũkinyĩtie na mĩbango itũ tutanakinya 2027. Tũraigire ithuĩ tutirenda siasa, ithuĩ turenda maũndũ ũthii wa na mbere kana maendeleo na andũ nĩmetĩkania na ithuĩ gũkũ Gatundu North atĩ marenda maendeleo, marenda barabara nigetha makainukaga na biashara ciao cigacire na uhoro wa macani ukorwo kigacira.
Kuringana na muingi tabarĩra ĩno ĩgũkorwo arĩ ihũmũra inene thutha wa mitangiko mĩingĩ. Tabarĩra ĩno ĩgĩtanywo gũkinyia muthia maithori mao na kurehe ũtheri mwerũ mĩtũrĩre-inĩ yao.
Ngari citũ cia macani itũrĩte ituĩkangĩte mbeca nyingĩ cia mũrĩmi citũraga garaji ithondekaga magari mathibiringi na kiria kingi giothe tondu barabara ni thiru igathira. Riu no twende thirikari igitwakira barabara iyo ni njira imwe ya empowerment tondu mbeca iria cihuthikaga gwaka barabara icio mwananchi kuyakira through KTDA ni igucoka pay slip ni ya murimi na hata gukorwo nake murimi ni agiukira.
Handũ-inĩ ha Kameme TV rĩtwa rĩakwa nĩ Mathew Ndung'u wa Mbugua.
Tugitigana na icio ciĩgiĩ waki wa barabara twĩngire ciĩgiĩ ũgima wa mwĩrĩ na Akenya nĩ mahinyĩrĩirio gũthiĩ na mbere na kwĩyandĩkithia rungu rwa mũbango wa motungata ma ũrigitani wa SHA. Rĩtana rĩrĩ rĩikĩtio nĩ anyiti itemi sekta-inĩ ya ũgima wa mwĩrĩ hĩndĩ ya kũhingũrwo kwa rũhonge rwerũ rwa thibitarĩ rwa AAR mwena wa Isili, arĩa ningĩ maugĩte nĩ meharĩirie kũnyitanĩra na thirikari harĩ kũgacĩrithia ũgitĩri na gũtigĩrĩra mĩhĩnga ĩrĩa ĩgũmĩire mũbango wa SHA nĩ yaninwo.
So I'd really encourage Kenyans to contribute. AR Healthcare is a contributor to SHA, and we are up to date, and all staff contribute because we know that the day when we do need it, it does help.
SHA, everywhere in the world, social health insurance is a very critical part of healthcare, and we really support what SHA is doing in Kenya. And we believe that by providing the cushion that people need, it's really going to help increase access to health. And we therefore encourage people and everybody, actually, we should achieve 100% if possible. That will help to increase the pool so that then we can afford to provide that level of care that is
SHA. I think it is the best insurance that the government, maybe if you register as a SHA member, it will help you when you need it. And I have seen experience, most of our members, they were taking it lightly before, but when SHA helped them, they have said now even the community is encouraging among themselves to register as a SHA member. Because that is, I've seen just last week, someone told me SHA helped me, really. It paid for him in his bills, all the bills. So I said, SHA, you contribute small amount of money. That contribution from everyone makes difference.
Muthia kiroto kiria gia thugunditwo miaka 5 mihituku gia kwambiririo gwa thukuru wa urigitani mwena wa Mukurwa-ini ni gitanyitwo gukinyanira kuona arutwo a mbere 100 matanyitwo kuingira ihinda-ini ria ciumia 2 ciukite. Thukuru uyu uria ni wa 91 wa urigitani guku bururi-ini niguo ugukorwo uri munene county-ini ya Nyeri. Muingi wa itura ria wa Mutito kuria wakitwo ukiuga ni ukuhingura mieke mingi ya mawira mwena ucio.
Ihinda-ini ria ciumia 2 ciukite thukuru wa urigitani wa KMTC Mukurwa-ini ukorwo ukihingura mirango kuri arutwo a mbere 100 na kunina murigo uria ukoretwo gumire mathukuru ma Nyeri na Uthaya. Ikereka ria gatatu ria waki wa thukuru uyu ni riruguritio kuria nyumba cia toro cia makiria ma milioni 200 iruguritio gitanywo kuhingurwo mieke mingi ya mawira kuna muthia arutwo makiria 5,000 nio marithomagira kuo.
Muthenya umuthi tuyaha tukilaunche na tugika ground breaking ya phase 3 ya KMTC ino ya Mukurwa-ini. Ni turari na phase 1 area ina tuition block, na tuina phase 2 pia ina tuition block, na tuina phase 3 area ina student village, na phase ya mbere ina milioni 76, phase ya kere ina milioni 50, phase ya gatatu nayo ina milioni 220.
It is very rare gukorwo na undu toyo gicagi-ini, na ni tukuona undu uyu ni ukurehe gikeno kinene muno itura riri, na ni ukuhingura mieke ya mawira kuri andu ethi ona professionals aria marikuo. Ningi ciana citu iria ciri itura riri andu ha guthiaga guthomera kunene ni twahuthirwo ni maundu, na ningi ni ukurehe ukoria munene muno uhoro-ini o ta uria turauga affordable housing. Ni tukwaga gukona cia thirikari, tukona citu matura-ini tondu andu aingi ni megwaka nyumba kuri arutwo aria marithomagira guku marikaraga, na no tuhoe Ngai project ino ikinyanire.
Principal wa thukuru wa urutani wa Nyeri Sami Samdi uria niwe ugukorwo ari murutani munene wa ihinda wa thukuru ya kiuga kwambiriria mweri ukite niguo arutwo a mbere 100 magukorwo makiingira thukuru-ini uyu.
Itura riri ni guteithika na arutwo gukorwo ni magukorwo makibatara nyumba cia gukoma. Andu a itura riri ni arimi muno makiria airia ona irio cia migunda.
Ni turatarajia ati ino KMTC tuni gukorwo KMTC area nene muno thiini wa Nyeri County na thiini wa region ino itu ya mwena uyu wa Mount Kenya. Tondu wona yarika KMTC ino ni gukorwo igikuwa makiria ya arutwo 5,000 na ni kuonania ni gukorwo ikiria KMTC ina population inene.
Akiaria hindi ya mihang'o ya kungania maoni mubuke wa Mukurwa-ini wa Kiri John Kagucia akiuria muingi mahimbirie mieke iria iroka na kwambiririo gwa thukuru uyu wa urigitani.
Tukiri na population iria tura expect ni gukorwo guku ya arutwo 5,000 tukirikia, na twina population ningi gukorwo kuria gikodi ya population ya arutwo ningi 4,000, na ni turi na colleges ingi nacio turatarajia ati ni tugukorwo tukiambiriria thiini wa Mukurwa-ini nigetha tukorwo twina arutwo makiria 10,000 aria megukorwo magitegemera guthomera guku Mukurwa-ini. Undu ucio ni ukwambatiria economy itu ya Mukurwa-ini na njira nene, makiria nginyagia urimi na wendia na uguri ni igukorwo ikiambatira na njira nene makiria. Na ikio pia tukiri na mubango ucio wa gwaka thoko mwena wa Icamara, Mukurwa-ini town na kuria Gakindu.
Na project ino itu tura igutake 1 year, that is 12 months, na ni ya gorofa 7 na igukorwo house students 540 ina rumu 145 koguo rumu iri koragwo na student ana na toguo toigania ati tuguko tukihuthira riba ya guku twarikanira na stakeholders ya guku na muheshimiwa tuiga ati andu aria othe megukorwo makiruta wira guku ni andu a guku mukuru-ini.
Ngiributira Kameme TV kuma gicigo kia ubunge kia mukuru-ini kaunti-ini ya Nyeri njitagwo Waguge.
Tugithie na mbere njera ya Kajiado iria koragwo na oho a atumia na athuri nigunikite na uteithio wa mariri muoroto ari kunyihanyihia namba ya oho aria makomaga thi undu umwe na kugacirithia riera riega kuri oho. Kuringana na mwandiki mukaru ruhonge-ini rwa njera Salome Biako, matanyite kuheana mariri 20,000 njera-ini ciothe guothe bururi-ini itanya inene ari gucokereria riri kuri oho ta uria gatiba ya bururi yathiriire. Biako ningi niongereire kuga oho riu ni maritugagwo na certificate cia kothi cia moko iria mathomeire njera-ini ta cia gutura indo cia mbao, gutuma waki gatagati-ini ga kothi ingi nyingi.
Sababu ya kuja hapa ni kuwa tulianzisha mradi unaoitwa He for He Adopt a Triple Decker Campaign mwezi wa Mei, na tulianza pale Nairobi West Prison, tukatengeneza vitanda na tukawapatia wakona vitanda vile vyote wanavyohitaji, na September 2nd huu mwezi tukakuwa na mradi wa kuongezea pesa, tukafanya harambee tukaongezea pesa, na 21 days later sasa tumekuja hapa katika Kajiado Prison, main prison, na tumewapatia vitanda vyote ambavyo wanahitaji, na tunataka kupongeza sana chama cha Catholic Men Association wakiongozwa na George Mwangi kwa hii effort wame make. Mnaona hapa vitanda vyote viko. Kwa hivyo katika Kajiado main prison na women prison hakuna hata one inmate ambaye atakosa kitanda. Na kwa sababu gani tunafanya hivi? Rais alituambia lazima tutilia maanani bottom up economic transformation agenda, na tuna transform wale ambao wako kwa magereza kutoka chini. Tunawapa vitanda, wako na mattresses. Sasa wakifanya ile kazi wanafanya ya vocational training, wanarudi wako na mahali pema.
Tugethi na mbere gicunjĩ kia 57 harĩ igana kia Kenya marauga bururi ndũrĩ gacĩra-inĩ karĩa kagĩrĩire. Ũũ nĩ kũringana na ũthuthuria ũrĩa ũtabanĩtio nĩ kambuni ya ũthuthuria ya Infotrack. Ũmwe wa maũndũ marĩa a Kenya maratetia arĩ kwambatĩra kwa ngarama ya mũtũrĩre. Gĩcunjĩ kia 40 harĩ igana gĩkiuga ngarama ya mũtũrĩre nĩ yambatĩrĩte, namba ĩrĩa yambatĩrĩte kuma gĩcunjĩ kia 36 harĩ igana ũthuthuria-inĩ wa mwaka mũhĩtũku.
When this question was posed, the direction the country is headed, of course, we can see there is a widespread, people are not really optimistic about the country. 57% opined that the country is headed in the wrong direction. And some of the highlights, some of the reasons they gave is the high cost of living. Then, of course, there is poor governance and unemployment. There is issues to do with SHA or SHIF. And of course, only 17% believe the country is headed in the right direction. Only 17%. That to mean, in the nearest whole number, if I meet 5 Kenyans, only 1 out of 5 would say the country is headed in the right direction. And of course, for those that believe the country is headed in the right direction, some of the reasons they attribute it to is that at least the country is enjoying relative peace at 41%. Then the government is perceived to be doing well, mentioned by 37%. The region that scored the highest for the right direction is Northeastern at 24%. It's still a low figure, but at least you can see, whereas places like Central, only 10% believe the country is headed in the right direction. On the wrong direction, still, Central is leading. You can see a bit of pessimism from Central, Western Province or Western Region, then Eastern Region. Places like Nyanza, only 53, that's about an average, who feel the country is headed in the wrong direction. There's severity in terms of 70% believe that the current cost of living is quite high. If you meet 10 Kenyans, 7 of them will talk about high cost of living. That's how severe it is. Then, of course, it's even higher if you compare it with last year, because 79% reported to us that if they compare their share or the cost of running their households and what they're running their households or businesses, if they have businesses, if you do the comparison for the 2 year, then 79% feel it has really gone up high. So what do government really need to do? Do they need to widen that cash transfer, which is now pegged within those 70 years plus? Can they lower it and consider even 60 years old and put it within there? That's out for them there to decide, so that they can mitigate the outcry amongst this older generation. Then, of course, there is need to look for the impact. Of course, the government policies like taxations or policies that are in place for agriculture or production, giving subsidized fertilizers, certified seeds, has it had a good impact in terms of reducing the cost of living? I'm not so sure when 70% still perceive the cost of living to be high.
Munene wa thitango cia muingi Renson Ingonga riu arenda ekwirwo eri aria mathitangitwo na kunyitanira kuraga andu 5 a nyumba imwe marehwo guku bururi-ini kuma Amerika. Kuringana na Ingonga ni ugite thitango ya ekwirwo acio guku bururi-ini ni ikoretwo na moritu maingi kuona mari bururi-ini wa Amerika. Ekwirwo acio aria ni Francis Moya wa ukuru wa miaka 72 na mwari makoretwo bururi-ini wa Amerika, akiuga ni guthii igoti-ini niguo aheo watho wa kumacokia guku bururi-ini. Moya thitangitwo ati gatagati ka mweri imwe wa gatatu na mweri 2 wa gatano mwaka muhituku hamwe na angi matari igoti-ini ni marihire andu milioni 3 morage mutumia wake Rose Jerry Moya muhinga thitango-ini ya uragani.
I believe as I join issues with the prosecutor that this matter should proceed to hearing in whatever circumstance. The victims deserve their day in court.
And the sister file is also for hearing?
Yes, Your Honor. However, it has a different circumstance to this one, as the accused in that file have never been apprehended. They have never taken plea. There has never been warrants of arrest issued. It is a shell file.
So we'll come to that.
We'll come to that, Your Honor.
For plea and you're not there, I will issue warrants, eh?
Yes, yes.
But now Mr. Njagi is here. Mr. Njagi is here. He's saying, I represent these people. Okay? So I'm reluctant to issue warrants. Eh? The same way if you come to before me on a traffic matter, your client is not here, and you appear before me, I will not issue warrants. Eh? I would say you have come. There is some level of your presence. Yes.
Arume ni moretio gukorwo magithurimwo ithimi cia ugima wao wa mwiri mahinda kwa mahinda niguo kugiririria mirimo iria ikoragwo ikimagumira na njira nene. Ihoya riri rikitio ni honge ngurani hindi ya kambi ya ugima wa mwiri itari marihi iria iratafanitio thibitari-ini wa Othaya level 4 ni ruhonge rwa Anthony Gitonga Foundation onyitaniri-ini na thirikari ya county ya Nyeri, Amref Health Africa na City Eye Hospital. Mwandikito wa mohoro Edwin Bogwa no haririe ripoti ino.
kansa ya muthiori, maitho, mahindi, cukari hamwe na kuhamba thakame igitabanio. Murugamiriri munene wa Anthony Gitonga Foundation akigoete ikinya riri kumana na muhuthia munene wa athuri gukoragwo mataguthie thibitari.
Statistics ni gatuone na igatwira atiriri mundurume kana muthuri ni mundu woyaga time muno agigathie thibitari, githuri gikambia, akaigua ruo ko ni mahindi, akona kiongo ni kiramuria, no agikoya time athie thibitari akoragwo wete time nyingi muno, na ringi ukona gathina kau kambirie kare kanini, no ni tondu wa muhuthio ucio ri kana ni undu wa kuya time muno ri thina ucio na ugathie na mbere ugikuraga.
Oho afitha wa ugima wa mwiri kuma kaunti ya Nyeri James Munyere na ithuriti ati namba nene ya arume kuma gicigo giki ni magumirwo ni mirimo ya mahindi hamwe na kansa ya muthiori, agikuruhania mirimo ino na mirire miuru hamwe na riera ria mwena uyu.
Cases ta cia prostate cancer kiria kiratuma ciongerereke ni athuri gwitigira guka thibitari gwikwo screening iyo, na nikio tu umuthi tugire athuri othe maguka gukumena miaka 40 kwambata na iguru makota gwikwo screening iyo ya prostate. Uhoro naguo wigie mahindi gwiciria tondu thaya ni kwina heho, ni kuri heho muno, na uhoro ucio ngene wa kiria lifestyle, that is the eating habits, unyui wa njohi na maundu ta macio.
Amwe aria magunikite na urigitani uyu ni macoketie ngatho guku magikia ritana kuri arume aria angi.
Thuri kumwira ari wiki ambe athie thibitari ri ti muno tuthiaga, no riu twiritwo tuke turi ingi uguo ri ithio nituguka.
Kaingi na kaingi athuri kuremwo mangiremwo ni guka thibitari, no guoya ni utumaga tondu tuge konta mirimu ta cukari, kansa icio turathimwo na maundu maria mangi, mundu aguka koria hihi nguthie thimo ringi ngoro ndina mukingo kana ndina kansa, indo riu ta icio riu akona ringi agutura enyitete ruthia.
Iguru wa uguo arume ni moritio kwagaga gwitigira gucera thibitari, amu mirimu ingimenyeka tene ni inyihagia garama ya urigiti.
Athuri ni tutige kugia na guoya tondu guoya niguo turagio kia mucii, koguo tugokaga tuigua kaundu tagaka tugokaga.
Na ria kwa kuri athuri ndingienda kumera metikire guthia thibitari guchekwo. O uria thimo yaku ka ngari yathuka ni umitwaraga garage thie karorwo, uguo noguo mwiri onaguo hana.
Kiributira Kameme TV kuma uthaya kaunti ya Nyeri, jitagwo Edwin Mbugwa.
Kuma Nyeri tuthie kaunti-ini ya Kajiado, na thirikari ya kaunti no kugerera ministry ya maiganania ni yuritio gutigirira kigina kiria kiigagwo keheri-ini o mwaka gya gutangikira maundu ma wiganania ni kiahuthika uria kwagiriire, na muno kuhura njeki ikundi iria irumboyanagia na maundu ta mabara cia kimicii na unduire muhetuke ni mahinda ta ugimaria wa airetu. Makiaria hindi ya mihango ya gutiriha itena ria miaka 5 ya gikundi gitari gya githirikari gya She Leads, na kiria gikoretwo gikihura njeki ikundi tiganite cia kurumboyania na mitangiko na minyamariko ya atumia na airetu aria magunikite rungu rwa gikundi giki mataririe riu mari makinya mbere kuona ni mahotete guteithika na mathomo ma gikiro kia iguru.
Kaunti ito ni nguria gukorwo na wigiririki, gukorwo na andu aria mangikorwo makiverify group ici ni iriku cihetwo na ni iriku citahetwo, na kungihotekeka group ici cikirwo muingi-ini tuhete kuona onokorwo ni website ya county tuhete kuona ni group iriku ciaheirwo, na muno makirore group ona iria ciena certificate tondu kwina imwe citari, na marore ona composition kana andu aria mara run group icio, tondu no ukore group imwe ni ta copy eri ingi, ugakora aria ma registered group A no ma registered group B na group C, ri ugakora group ciothe ithatu cikuheo no ona ni cia mundu umwe. Koguo county government ingikorwo na wigiririki ona Kajiado kana ona county o yothe makorwo na accountability na transparency.
Kazi ngumu tuko nayo kama MCAs ni kuhakikisha pesa kama hii ikitengwa inafanya ile kazi ambayo inafaa.